Guys, today is part 3 of my OBGYN. Took my baby at childbirth and is now raising it like she's the mom. I have to tell you something that I found out. It was deep in the comment section. It was from the original poster. This story is made up. It's fake. It's not real. However, the comment was pretty interesting. It said that this is based off of a real story and that this type of thing happens in the world more than you would have thought. So we're going to go deep into that. At the end of the story, we'll read the comment and see exactly what it says. But guys, even though the story's fake, I have part 3 for you, so we might as well see how it ends. Here it is, part 3. I'm writing this at exactly 4:12 a.m. 3 years after I first discovered my daughter was alive. My lawyer finally cleared me to share everything, and this is why I'm here, and yes, this is my final post. The federal investigation is still ongoing, and honestly, I'm tired. I'm so tired. But you deserve to know how this ended, or really didn't end yet, because that's the thing about conspiracies, they don't end, they just evolve. Emma's asleep in the next room. I can hear her breathing through the baby monitor I still use even though she's 6 now. She calls me Mom without adding the real in front of it. It took 3 years. 3 years of therapy, night terrors, and her asking why Daddy tried to make her disappear. But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? So, the FBI raid was supposed to happen simultaneously at 5 a.m. on November the 3rd. 5 different locations: our house, Alan and Marissa's apartment, Tony's condo, Janet's house, and the pharmaceutical company Caroline worked for. 47 agencies, 3 years worth of evidence, airtight case. They found empty houses, every single one. Somebody tipped them off, 13 minutes before the teams deployed, enough time to grab Emma and run. Not enough time to pack anything substantial, but hey, they didn't need things, they just needed her. I was in the FBI little vehicle when the calls came in. Empty, 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 empty. I remember Agent Martinez, his face went gray. Then the phone rang, it was overnight desk agents. "We have a problem. Anthony Patterson just walked into the Miami field office. He says he has information about his sister's case." Tony, my brother, in Miami? When he was supposed to be asleep in his Seattle condo? They put him on speaker. His voice was shaking. He confessed everything in one long stream. The affair with Caroline for 2 years, the fake emails he was creating, and the money he skimmed from my medical fund. But the worst part, the part that made me vomit into the evidence bag. I told Alan about the raid. I had to. He has videos of me with Caroline. She's 17. 17? The pharmaceutical rep who was supplying the drugs was 17 with a fake ID, and Tony had been sleeping with her. Oh, and Alan had been recording it, and my brother sold out my daughter to save himself from prison? But here's what Tony didn't know. Caroline was actually Agent Sarah. Working undercover, she was 23, not 17. The FBI had been building this case for 5 years. Tony had just confessed to obstruction of justice for nothing. While Tony was being arrested, my phone rang. Unknown number. Emma's voice whispered, "Save me. Mountains. He's taking me to the mountains. The place with the big rocks," and then the phone died. I played it for the agents. Mountains, big rocks. I mean, come on. That could be anywhere. But then Agent C pulled up Alan's credit card records from 3 years ago. A cabin rental in Colorado. The same week Emma was born, the week that he was supposedly grieving with me. Janet had her stroke while being questioned at 4:15 a.m. The agent said that she was answering calmly, denied everything, then suddenly grabbed her chest and started to scream. Not in pain, but in confession. "I stole him too, Alan. I stole him when he was 2. His mother was a junkie in Detroit. I could not have babies, and I took him and moved to Florida and told everybody my husband passed, and that's why I understood when he wanted Emma, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and oh gosh, I'm just like him." She died 6 hours later. But not before spilling the beans that Alan's real name is, well, Marcus Webb. The FBI ran Marcus Webb, and he's wanted in 3 countries. Identity theft, fraud, and suspected murder of his biological father when he was 15. My husband was not just a monster, he was a trained monster. A generational monster. So, to the user who found Alan's old MySpace under Marcus Webb, you broke this wide open. The FBI tracked his digital footprint from the one leaked, and by noon my face was on every news channel. It's not hard to find me who I am now. Massachusetts mother's stolen baby is alive. Nationwide manhunt underway. Kelly drove me to the first news interview, and I looked horrible. Hadn't slept in 72. Hadn't eaten in 38. My hair was falling out in clumps from the stress. But I stared into that camera and spoke directly to Emma. Baby, if you're watching this, Mommy loves you. The rainbow song, remember? Red and yellow and pink and green. You were so brave. You are so brave. The interview went viral. Save Emma. It was trending within hours. Then the tips started to roll in. A motel clerk in Wyoming called, said a man matching Alan's description was there with the little girl who kept saying her angel mommy was on TV. Well, by the time the FBI arrived, the clerk was deceased. One to the head. Security footage showed Alan's car leaving at 6:47 p.m. Update 2. News crew are outside. Don't trust them very much. They're editing my words, but they found the car 12 hours later. Crashed into a tree off a mountain road in Colorado, exactly where Emma had tried to tell me. So Marissa didn't survive the impact. Her head was through the windshield, and I'm not sorry. I felt nothing when they told me, and I still don't. Alan had a broken arm and was unconscious, but Emma was just not there. Tiny footprints in the snow led into the woods, a 6-year-old in princess pajamas in November in the Colorado wilderness. The temperature was dropping to 15 degrees. They would not let me join the search protocol, they said. I stood at the command post for 18 hours, screaming her name until my voice gave out. 18 long hours of knowing my baby was out there freezing, scared, alone. 18 hours of other mothers holding me back from running into the woods myself. Well, canines. Canine units found her at hour 17. She was in a cave. A very small little cave. Had made a bed of leaves like she's been on Bluey. She told the rescue team she wasn't scared because she knew that I would come. Oh, the real mommy always comes back. Daddy lied about heaven. The reunion video has 47 million views. You've probably seen it and you didn't know the backstory until now. Me running through the snow, Emma breaking free from the EMT, us colliding in the middle, and her saying, I dreamt about you every night. Clear as day on the audio. What you don't see is me checking her for injuries and finding bruises shaped like fingers on her arms. What you don't hear is her whispering, Daddy said you were a monster who would eat me, but monsters don't sing rainbow songs. While Emma was in the hospital for observation, 3 women contacted me through Agent Martinez. They saw the news. They had similar stories, babies that didn't make it who were, still well alive. Lisa from Oregon. Her son passed during an emergency C-section in 19. Dr. Patricia Kim was her OB. She'd seen a boy who looked exactly like her son at a farmer's market, calling another woman mom. Maria from Texas. Twins, supposedly stillborn in 2020. Dr. Jennifer Liu. She'd been institutionalized after insisting she heard her baby crying in the hospital. Her husband left her for being delusional. And of course, Stephanie from Maine. Daughter passed away during delivery 2018. Dr. Angela Park, she harmed herself, or so everyone thought she did until she walked into the FBI field office very much alive. Apparently she faked it 2 years ago and had been investigating her ever since. Stephanie had all the evidence, photos, documents, recordings, a whole network. All the doctors were connected through medical school. All had attended the same fertility conference in Switzerland in 2017. The conference that did not exist except as a front for something else. The tech genius was Maria, MIT graduate, worked for the NSA before her breakdown. She's been tracking digital footprints for months, and she pulled up a website on the dark web. Superior Genetics Initiative. Password protected, encrypted, but she cracked it. Pages and pages of children. Their photos, their genetic profile, their location, and yes, Emma was there. Listed as 47B. High intelligence markers, music aptitude, athletic potential, 94th percentile. They weren't just stealing the babies. Oh no. They were stealing specific babies. Designer babies for a black market adoption ring. Except the adoptive parents didn't know the babies were gone. They thought they were getting legal adoptions of abandoned children. But some, like Alan, were in on it. They were the collectors. They would marry women with the right genetic markers, steal the babies and sell them or keep them. Alan had kept Emma because, as his manifesto later revealed, she was his, quote, greatest creation. Well, the trial was from hell. The trial was supposed to be straightforward. We had everything, recordings, documents, witness testimony, DNA evidence, but 3 days before the jury selection, Tony, well, he didn't make it out of his cell. They said it was by his own hand. He even left a video confession on his tablet they gave him. I watched it one time, only once, and he cried the whole time, apologizing, explaining how Alan had, done this to him since college and how the whole family had been targeted because of our superior genetics, and he said that there were hundreds of families involved. Yeah, a network that went all the way to Washington. And he was right. The judge had to rescue himself when he discovered his own grandchild had been stolen and sold through the network. And the second judge, he got all sorts of threats. But the third judge was Judge Patricia Hoffman, who took no crap from anyone. Alan's defense was simple. I was insane. The poisoning had caused permanent brain damage. I orchestrated everything in psychotic breaks, and he presented videos from the years of poisoning where I looked completely unhinged, crying at walls, talking to no one, forgetting Emma was gone and setting her place at the table. But then the other mothers testified. Stephanie had documents proving the network went back decades. Maria had cracked their entire database, and Lisa had recordings of Dr. K discussing harvesting with someone called the founder. Rose testified via video call before she passed. She'd recorded everything, every single drunk confession from Janet, which was very important, every phone call, every hushed conversation she'd pretended to sleep through. When they played her saying, "Well, burn them all, sweetheart," as her last words to me, the entire courtroom went silent. Emma testified via closed circuit from another room, and when asked about living with Alan and Marissa, she said something that broke everyone. "Daddy would call me Tori when he was sad. He would hug me and say, 'I'm sorry, Tori, I had to do it. You were going to leave me.'" The revelation of the cult came when Maria traced the payments. They all led to one specific shell company that was going to say exactly who was behind this all. The FBI arrested the leader during a campaign speech live on C-SPAN. He laughed as they cuffed him. He says, "You have no idea who I am. We're everywhere. Teachers, doctors, judges, cops. You can't stop this." Then the mistrial. See, juror number 7 was revealed to be the sister of one of the network doctors. She lied during selection, and the judge was furious, but rules are rules. That's a mistrial. Alan was being transferred to federal holding when it happened. 3 guards who were part of the network, they let him walk out. Just opened up the door, let him go. He was free for exactly 72 hours. So, this is the part about the escape and the confrontation. Those 72 hours were the worst of my life. Worse than thinking Emma was gone, because now I knew, what he's capable of, and I knew that he would come for her. We were added to witness protection, but somehow he found us. Later we learned about the tracking chip that he had implanted inside Emma when she was an infant. Near the shoulder blade, looked like a small mole. He came to her school, walked right past security with these fake credentials, but Emma had been prepared. We practiced, and the second she saw him, she screamed "Rainbow!" at the top of her lungs. The code word. Every teacher knew it meant danger. The lockdown was immediate, but Alan grabbed her anyways, and that's when I arrived. I've been on my way for the daily pickup and saw the police cars, and I knew. He was dragging her to a van when I took him out. Twice. Once in the shoulder, once in the spine. He went down, still holding her arm, and Emma pulled free and ran to me, and Alan was laughing. Even when he was, passing on, possibly paralyzed, he was laughing. He said, "You think you won. She's not yours. I made sure of that. There's hundreds more, thousands even. We're different, Tori. You're just a womb." He survived, paralyzed from the waist down, and the second trial was quick. Life without parole. But that laugh haunts me, that certainty that he'd already won. The surgery to remove Emma's tracking chip was supposed to be simple, but the scan showed something else. It was not one chip, it was 12. each the size of a rice grain, scattered throughout her body, some near vital organs, inoperable without massive risk. Alan had definitely been tracking her, but more than that, the chips were transmitting. But to where? To whom? We still don't know. That was 3 years ago. 3 years of therapy, 3 times a week, 3 years of Emma asking why Daddy wanted to hurt her, 3 years of night terrors, bedwetting, Emma regressing to baby talk when stressed. But also 3 years worth of healing, of rainbow songs at bedtime, of Emma slowly learning that love is not supposed to hurt, that mommies don't actually live in heaven, that she's safe. Kelly had Tony's baby, a girl. She named her Rose, and I'm the godmother, which is complicated and painful and beautiful. And Kelly says Rose looks nothing like Tony, but I see him in the eyes. The Tony from before, when we were kids, before Alan got his hooks in. My parents are shells of themselves. Dad had 3 heart attacks during the trial, and Mom doesn't even speak anymore. Just sits there and stares. Sabrina tried to take herself out twice. She's in a facility now, a real one, getting help, and she even left a note saying she helped forge documents because Alan threatened to take her daughter too. The network had eyes on every child in our family. Well, the network, it was 147 kids. Only 23 have been recovered, and the rest are ghosts, hidden in plain sight with families who either don't know or they're part of it. The FBI even has a task force on it, but every time they get close, someone tips off the target. Emma started calling me Mom without qualifiers 6 months ago. We were at the grocery store, the same one where she'd seen me as her angel mommy, and she said, "Mom, can we get ice cream?" Casual, normal, like the last 6 years had not been hell. I cried in the freezer aisle. Yesterday a package arrived, no return address, no postmark, just appeared on our doorstep despite the security cameras showing nothing. Inside were photos, a little girl, maybe 3 years of age, looking exactly like Emma did at that age. Same eyes, same hair, same distinctive birthmark on her left cheek, but it's an old photo of Emma. The car in the background is a 2024 model. There was a note that said, "From the founder," and under the photo was a USB drive. Maria analyzed it. It contained partial medical records for lots of children across the country. The FBI says they're investigating. They've said that for 3 years now, and, well, I sleep with a weapon now. Emma sleeps with 3 stuffed animals and a panic button. We've moved 4 times, and it doesn't really matter. They always know where we are. But this is the last time I'm going to post, because for a while now, I felt safe, and today is one of those days where I feel safe. Alright, guys. Interesting story, even though it was fake. There's a couple comments, and I'll be honest, obviously, once I started reading part 3, I was like, this is probably fiction. It just seems a little too over the top. But it was based on a true story. I was trying to find online which story it was based on, but I was kind of getting sick to my stomach because, believe it or not, these type of things happen. Kids are kidnapped, documents are changed, medical people are crooked. Not all of them, obviously, but it only takes one for a story like this to be real. Guys, let's go ahead and read some of these comments. The first comment said, "This finale just jumped the shark into complete fantasy land. OP needs serious psychiatric intervention immediately. We went from a questionable custody dispute to an international eugenics conspiracy with thousands of kids. Come on. Oh, and some mysterious founder who's apparently omnipotent. The convenient plot devices are insulting. See, Tony just happens to be sleeping with an underage FBI agent, and Janet just happens to confess she stole Alan as a baby during a stroke. Oh, and Emma just happens to survive 18 hours in the freezing Colorado wilderness because of a Bluey episode. Give me a break. And also the tracking chips that are somehow too dangerous to remove, but actively transmitting. It's medically impossible, man. Okay, let's just start with that. Any doctors would remove foreign objects near a vital organ immediately due to an infection risk. The idea that this happened is so ridiculous. I think it's really poor writing at best. See, guys, once I heard about the devices and stuff can't be removed, I thought to myself, this does seem too good to be true, but Anyways, there is another comment which might change your mind a little bit. Everyone dismissing this as fake has clearly never researched actual documented cases of medical kidnapping and all these rings that really do operate at the highest levels of society. I mean, look at the Franklin cover-up, the Finders cult, the Georgia Tan scandal. I mean, come on. These operations existed and did steal thousands with government complicity. So let's just talk about that. The tracking chips are plausible. Veterinarian microchips have been illegally implanted in humans before, and multiple chips would ensure this. If some were discovered, Tony being compromised makes perfect sense, as these networks always use blackmail for control. So even if today's story is indeed fake, this type of stuff can and does happen. Guys, let me know your thoughts about that. Drop it down below in our comment section and let's talk about it. I know today's story is fake, and I try my hardest to find real stories because I don't like obviously fake stories. But it was interesting, it was entertaining, and that is the final part that we'll be doing. 3-part saga. There you have it. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for another story. This one I know for sure is real. It's a cheating story, and oh man, it's full of drama. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.